After we left the beaches of Lahaina, we went down to the south coast near Kihei. Basing over there, we went and visited the Makina and Walea areas. We are at one of the beaches near Kihei. I forgot what the name is, but it's in the Makina area. We'll just take a little beach walk while Aubrey is reading the book. Palm trees, actual sand, and vast ocean. Can't ask for anything more than that. Where are we, Bijan?
I don't actually know the name.
It's like Malauka Beach? Malauka Beach? One of those. Our ridiculous pronunciation.
Enjoying the surf. Apparently this is Turtle Town.
Yes, it is called Turtle Town.
So we're going to put our snorkel on and go see some turtles.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I don't think we saw any turtles at Turtle Town itself, but we did see turtles in some of the nearby beaches in the area, and this is one of the turtles that we saw. In between the lounging around and relaxation, we did manage to get a couple of dives in at the Molokini Crater. Alex, Bijan, and I dived with a local dive shop in Maui called Alinui Dive Shop, and they were really good. The whole process was pretty smooth. We had a pickup from a hotel, and it was very early in the morning because I think we had to get there by 7 a.m. in order to start our dives. So they picked us up bright and early, and we did a 2-tank dive with them throughout the day. It took about an hour from the dock to get to the Molokini Crater swimming area, and you saw a lot of the typical fish, including a trumpet fish and hornet fish, which was really awesome. Our first dive is called Reef's End at Molokini Crater. We were down there about 47 minutes, which is a decent amount of time given a lot of us haven't really dived in 8 months or so. So that was a really good record. The water temperature was fantastic. It was 78 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's about 25 degrees Celsius. So definitely warm enough for what we were wearing. And we went to a depth about 75 feet, which is 22 meters, a little bit beyond the limit that we're supposed to, but it's hard when there is currents and you're looking at things. Sometimes you just dip, a meter or two lower than we wanted. But it was a really great experience. As you can see, visibility was tremendously clear. Some of the best visibility I think I've had at diving was at Molokini Crater. I think our instructor mentioned that the visibility was about 35 or 40 meters, which is insanely good. So we were very lucky to have that level of clarity when we were diving at the crater. I'm not sure what the conversion is. I can't do it automatically in my head, but that's probably over 100 feet. I would say maybe 120, 130 feet or so. Yeah, as I said, we were incredibly lucky, and I'm just grateful that we could see so much and so far. You might be asking what is so special about the Molokini Crater. From what I understand, the Molokini Crater was created from an eruption that had happened about 200,000 years ago. And the cinder cone that was formed has since been eroded to form this crescent shape that it now has. And the reason why it is so great for marine life is because its crescent shape acts as a fortress that provides protection from waves and powerful currents. And that provides an environment for reefs to thrive. And that is why it has a protected status as a marine life and bird conservation district. Apparently, it gives shelter to about 250 species of fish, which are found very widely around that crescent atoll. You might be wondering what kind of fish we saw on the dive. It was super plentiful, as you can see in the video, when there were a lot of kind of the typical reef fish like butterfly fish, parrotfish, wrasse fish, that sort of thing. Pufferfish, which you're seeing now, is also really common. I always like seeing them because they're so cute and they have different sizes and forms. And there's also the hornet fish slash trumpet fish that we saw quite a few times throughout the dive. You might be wondering what the heck we're looking at here. The instructor was actually pointing out that there are 2 reef sharks underneath the rock there, and they're just swirling around. We will get a better look at them a bit later, but they are quite small and they were hiding under the rock. But shortly after we left the rock, they actually came out. So I was able to capture that for a hot second. The sharks were definitely the highlight for me in the first dive. We also captured this mystery animal, and I have no idea what it is. The instructor was trying to point it out to me, and I think it might have been an eel, but not sure what this mystery animal is. So after dive 1, we're now on dive 2 at a site called Enenue. We were at the bottom for about 51 minutes at 68 feet, around 21 meters, so a little bit closer to what we should be diving compared to before. This is a really great start to the dive because we got to see a World War II bomb. So that's the cylinder looking thing that the instructor was highlighting in the video. I just didn't really think it would be so tied to history in this dive, so that was really fascinating. You might be wondering, why on earth are there World War II bombs at Molokini Crater? And that exact question I also had in my mind. Through some high-level digging, it seems like the Navy at the time was using Molokini Crater for bombing practice when the US entered into World War II. So these seem to be remnants of some kind of bomb training practice back in World War II. And from my reading, it sounds like the removal of these World War II era bombs have been controversial. There isn't like a really good consensus on how to safely remove them, and the impact such removal will have on marine life. So if anyone knows more about this, feel free to let me know, because this is very interesting history that still has implications today. Speaking of marine life, I want to make a quick plug to use reef safe sunscreen when you're doing any activity in the ocean. I have seen the difference between a healthy reef and an unhealthy one as an avid diver, and trust me, it makes all of the difference. For our second dive, we did see different varieties of eel. This one is a bit hard to see, but it was swaying its head back and forth. There's also a spotted eel that we saw coming out of a rock. I think the instructor said we saw some moray eels, spotted eels, and garden eels. So that was a very cool variety. And of course, we saw a hornet fish again to round out our experience. They're such weird looking creatures. I always love seeing them. But yeah, really great dive on Molokini Crater, and would love to come back again someday. As you can see, we really enjoyed the south coast of Maui. During our last days there, we did some hiking and snorkeling. With the hiking, it was around the area of La Perouse Bay. I think the trail was called Ho'apili Trail, and it goes on for a really long time, but we only did a small section of that. The trail follows the coast, and there are a lot of lava features around, as you can see with the big black rocks, so we had a lot of fun just exploring that area. We also really loved doing snorkeling in South Maui. Our favorite spot was around the Makina area. There's Makina Landing Park, but there's also the Cove and other areas nearby. It's all very pretty. We found that the water was calm enough to snorkel comfortably, as well as having pretty good clarity in water. We got really lucky. I mean, we saw this huge turtle that was swimming around, and then we saw another one later on. There were so many turtles, so we loved the area, and we thought that the marine life was quite rich. There's also a lot of surfing in the south coast of Maui. I think the waves are a little smaller, so it's really good for beginners, especially early in the morning. We did a surf camp. We don't have any videos of that surf camp, but we have some amazing photos, mainly of us like falling off our surfboard. But the surfing was also really cool because it was a small class. We only had 4 people in the class, and the instructor just did a really great job giving us instructions and teaching us how to get up and stay up. There were also a lot of turtles nearby, which was magnificent. So every time like we would be in the water, we're either like bumping into a turtle or like gently touching one. There were just so many. And I remember there's one particular surf that Bijan and Sia came up on, and as they were standing up and the surf was coming, all these other turtles were right beside them, and it was so awesome. It was a terrific trip overall, and we had a wonderful time in south of Maui. Definitely want to come back again and maybe do multiple days of surf camp and snorkeling and hiking and just relax, because there's no pressure to explore, and we just want to be able to enjoy that local life next time we come back.